My name is Espen and I'm a wildlife photographer. In this video I meet up with my pal Barry and we head for Rathlin Island. There are lots of wildlife here, and by bikes we explore the island and photograph seals and birds, as well as trying to see whales and dolphins that might be in the water surrounding Rathlin. This video is sponsored by the Wilder Awards. Islomania, an obsessive enthusiasm or partiality for islands. Barry is a funny Irishman who I first met at uni, who insisted his freckles were Mediterranean sunshine, and the first person to ask me what the crack was. He now lives in Australia and studies humpback whales, and has assured me we will see some whales or dolphins on this trip.
You can just keep walking through. Come on, man. I'm like a pro here.
My journey starts by driving to the west coast of Scotland, where I get a boat to Larne in Northern Ireland. Since I have an early ferry, I decide to sleep in the car. I forgot to bring my stove to make coffee in the morning, and I'm forced to make a desperate decision. As always, when I'm on a boat, I can be found on deck with my binoculars and camera. Barry picks me up in Larne and we drive the scenic coastal route to get to Ballycastle and the ferry to Rathlin. Rathlin is an island off the coast of Northern Ireland. It is 6 kilometres from east to west and 4 kilometres north to south, looking like a reversed L. Its highest point is 134 metres. Arriving at Rathlin, we're immediately greeted by our amazing host, Stuart, who together with Una provided us with accommodation and bikes for us to explore the island.
Yeah, I don't know how long. Okay.
Maybe. At the southern tip of the island, we find a secluded bay with seals singing. Grey seals communicate in a variety of ways, and at haul-out sites it sounds like they're singing as they compete for space on land. Studies have shown that grey seals can actually copy human songs. In a study at St Andrews University, a grey seal named Zola has learned to mimic Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and the Star Wars theme tune. The Wilder Awards is a wildlife photography competition where images will be judged live on YouTube. There are 5 different categories to enter: portrait, birdscape, creative, macro, and beginner. Together with Jeremy, 5 talented photographers will be judging and awarding the short list of images on October the 5th. This year there's a total prize pool of $5,000. Use the link in the description to enter your best photos and be sure to do it before September the 22nd. Best of luck.
How cool is that? Those eiders coming out here. Barry just forgot a lot of stuff in his car on the mainland, so he's going to get the ferry back over to pick up some stuff. And I've got a couple of hours here. The light is getting a bit harsh. We had a few drinks by the pub yesterday, so we didn't get out right away. It was nice to catch up and sitting outside, just catching the last bit of sun. One of the seals got really curious and checked me out, so I got some footage of that. Tried taking some photos, but the sun is very high and coming from an angle here, so it doesn't really look good. It's half in shade, half out in the open. It's very harsh light. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I think I'm just going to leave these seals to it. I could go out this little peninsula here, because then I'll have the sun more behind me, but the seals are actually lying very close to the shore there, so I don't want to scare them. Now there is some kind of wispy clouds higher up. They can be really good. If they cover the sun, could get some really nice light. But right now, my shadow is pretty much the length of me, which tells me that photography-wise, it's not going to be very good. But I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm still going to take some photos and just enjoy being here. I absolutely love this. There's something about islands. I came across this term recently in a book I was reading called Islomania, and I immediately identified with it. Something about islands. Being on an island makes me happy. It's just being near the sea. I think it's part of the island life, the slowness of it all, the sleepy little villages, and the waves around. There's not really anywhere to go, nothing to do. You just take life in your own time. So, really enjoying being here. Right, I can hear and see the chat. Sedge warblers on either side of me just singing such a nice song all over the place. So I just walked past the sedge warbler, and looking back, even though it's quite harsh and the sun is a bit too high, backlight kind of works a little bit better because then at least I get even light on the side that's facing me, and I get a bit of rim lighting around it. So in some angles it can just about work. We'll see how the pictures come out, but better than front lit anyway. So if I stand in the shade here, maybe I can get a good view.
We also check out the RSPB Seabird Centre on the west coast of the island. We're told that the birds are unseasonably late this year, and that most of the birds are still to arrive. It's still an impressive sight, and we spent some time watching and photographing birds in flight, and I'm distracted by a colourful shield bug. We're moving towards little cliffs here, and we've seen a lot of auks, a lot of razorbills fly to the cliffs. So we're just going to try and catch them in flight as they come in and fly out. Found the most amazing place to sit amongst the rocks, tucked away, and photographing razorbills as they fly past. Absolutely perfect. I'm from Bergen, on the west coast of Norway. When I was young, I would tolerate going to boring shops with my mom as long as after we finished, we would go to the cafe on the pier to watch the boats. It's funny how as I grow up, I can forget what once was such an important part of my life. It wasn't until I came across the passage from Lawrence Durrell about Islomania that it hit me. I miss the sea. I love being on islands, and the idea of being on an island always makes me happy. We didn't see any whales or dolphins while we were at Rathlin. Barry, however, claims that he saw a harbour porpoise as we were leaving on the ferry to the mainland. I did not see this, and I still don't know what the crack is.
Really light.
So this is like the BBC behind the scenes. Espen, can you tell me why you're walking behind with no one else?
Somebody left a bag.
Oh, right.
There.
Someone. And what was in that bag? Someone's camera? You mean the wildlife photographer
3 cameras.
left a camera on the bench?
Yeah,
Interesting.
it happens.
Does it? Because I brought my bag. But... Oh yeah, just cycling for the movie. I love it.
Good job, Phil.